What's good, everybody? It's your boy back with another reaction video. And I'll be reacting to uh, three true Snapchat Snap Map horror stories animated. I believe this is from, I think it was from MJV Animations. I can't remember on top of my head. I think it's from them. But anyway, I'll put a link in the description down below. So you go check it out yourself. And whoever it is, go like and subscribe to their channel. Watch all their videos on repeat. You know what to do. So Snapchat, man. I remember when this first came out, I was like, what? It made no sense to me. I was like, I don't care where people are at that I follow on Snapchat, whether they're friends or people I don't know. I never. It was one time it turned itself on because I just went to check to see. I was like, I wonder if it's on because they had a thing where when it first came up, you can just automatic. You could turn it off right then. So I turned it off, and which was funny because uh, at the time, when I looked at it, it had me like my emoji, and then I looked to see where my friends are, and none of them at the time, none of them were in the state because I had just moved. And it was it looked so weird. I just my emoji just staying there by itself, and I was like, shrunk the map to try to see like I think it was like the whole United States, well, most of the United States. Like my friends like all over the place in the United States, and I turned it on. Then again, one time I just looked because I had read that some people said that it had automatically just turned itself back on, and someone told them like, "Hey, you showing up on Snap Map," and they were like, "What?" And they went and checked, and it was on. And I did that, and it was on. I was like, "What the? Why is this on?" So I turned it back off. Every so often I look and check to see if it's on, but like that's weird. I never understood like why that is. You know, like why do you need that? I guess because I mean, Instagram you can like put your location like, oh, I was here, and then but it's not the exact location. It just say, hey, I was in Chicago or I was in South Beach or something. It just you use like a city or a town or something like that. But in Snap Map, you can get somebody's exact coordinates, like where they're at. But anyway, let's see. That's this like 13 minutes, something like this. So here we.
This happened back in 2016, during that sort of killer clown phase. I don't know if you guys remember that, but if you were in the US during that time,
Yeah, I
there's a
remember
good
that.
chance you know what I'm talking about. Basically, in 2016, this sick trend where people would dress up as
Didn't no
clowns and
one
scare
actually
people
get
became
like
insanely
killed?
popular.
The people made
It
it like
had a
they were
lot of
killing
people
people.
scared,
I think the
and
only
rightfully
people who
so,
actually got
as
hurt
some
were people
scary
dressing up
stories
as
came from the
clown
whole ordeal.
because people were
But
attacking
if
them
I'm being honest, it never really
because they
bothered
were
me,
like on their
at
property
least
and
at the
shit.
time. Now, I think it's important to note that I had just recently moved, and because of that, I started going to a new high school. Word must have got out about my Snapchat username, as I didn't see
Lance
many people from the
Stewart.
school adding me. I had given my username to a few people, so I didn't think it was that weird. I simply added everyone back that added me. I checked, and most of them showed up on the snap map nearby to my high school, so it wasn't like I was adding back complete strangers. I remember it was Friday. I had just gotten back from school, and it was 8 p.m. The reason I'd stayed so late was because the school had volleyball tryouts that same night, and back then I was really into that sort of thing.
Hmm.
I remember when I got home,
Yeah, I'm sure
I
he
had
was in
something to
the
eat when my cousin
volleyball.
texted me, asking if she could come over. I, of course, said
He's out
yeah,
there probably
since after all, it was a
girls
Friday.
volleyball.
And around an hour later, we were sitting in the living room watching Netflix. At some point, I don't remember exactly when, I jokingly told my cousin to look out the window just behind her. A little weird, I know, but we always used to mess with each other and try to scare the other person. Though, this time, when she looked over her shoulder, she didn't look back right away. She replied, saying she thought she
She
actually
was
saw
really look on
someone.
her face like, what the
Not
fuck?
thinking anything of it, I just figured she was trying to scare me back and pretty much forgot about it. That was until
Why
about an
would you
hour
just
later,
ignore that? She
when
like,
out
I
of
think I
nowhere,
saw
my dog
somebody out
jumped
there.
up, ran to
You're
the
like, oh,
front
you
door,
just
and
being
started barking
funny. You're
aggressively.
just trying to scare me back. You
My
just
cousin and I
ignore
both
it.
looked at each
You're
other.
like,
Something to be noted is my dog is insanely
I
quiet,
wouldn't just
only
ignore it.
barking when he feels threatened. It actually startled me, as I hadn't even heard him bark for months. I thought it might have been possible that he heard a noise from the TV or something, but the movie we were watching had ended like 30 minutes ago, and we were both just sitting in silence on our phones. Keep in mind, at this point it was around midnight. Finally, around 1 a.m., my cousin
Y'all
and I decided to go
motherfuckers doing
upstairs
a
and
lot of
start
just
getting ready to go to
ignoring shit.
sleep.
Like
I still
things that
remember this
even
moment
he's
perfectly
like,
to this day.
it's like a
I
red
was laying
flag.
down on my
He
phone
just
checking
just
Snapchat
ignore it.
when I decided to open the Snap map. And that's when I saw it. According to the map, 4 other people were at my location, as in close enough to where Snapchat groups your Bitmojis together. One of them was my cousin, but the other 3 were random Bitmojis I'd never seen before. I started thinking of all the possibilities of
This
who
is
could be this
dumb on
person.
their part. Like
I went through all their profiles, but
if
I
they
didn't
were
remember adding a
planning on
single one
doing
of them.
something, like he could have checked
I knew I
that and
must have at
seen
some
that at
point
any
without
time.
realizing it, as like I said, I had been adding a lot of new people recently. Now a little worried, I told my cousin, and we went downstairs to check and make sure all the doors were
I
locked.
don't know, it's dry.
Something that should be mentioned is it had been snowing for a better part of the day, and as we checked the doors, we couldn't help but notice fresh footprints signifying people had been walking around the property. There were even some in the backyard, which was gated, meaning whoever it was had to have jumped the fence. We were genuinely worried now.
He's like,
When I checked the snap map, it said the 3 guys' locations were last seen an hour ago. And an hour ago was when my dog started viciously barking at the front door for no reason. The more I thought about
well,
everything,
now you
the
know the
more it seemed to
reason.
connect, but there was really
Your
nothing I could
dumbass
do,
should have like
as we already
paid
searched the
more
whole
attention.
house and locked all the
Because even he
doors.
said he was like
My
startled,
cousin and I
and
were the
his
only ones
dog
supposed to
doesn't
be home
bark,
this night,
and
and
he
we
only
didn't want to call the
barks
police,
at
as we didn't even know
strangers,
if we were in any true danger.
and he hadn't heard
That was when
his
I
dog
remembered the
bark
house
in
actually
months,
did have
but
multiple
he just
cameras around the
ignored it.
property, and I figured we could check
He
those.
ignored when his
The
cousin
reason I
said that
only
she thinks
remembered
she
just
saw
then
something
was
outside,
because, like I said,
and
we
he
had
ignored
just
that.
recently moved into the house, and our last house was pretty old, so we didn't have anything close to cameras. Anyway, we started looking through what the cameras had picked up within the last few hours. Now, when going through the footage, you could actually turn on a setting so that it would only show you the clips where motion was detected. So
Oh,
we
that's
selected
cool.
it, and
That way
simply
you
played
don't have to
clip after
comb
clip
through
from cameras that detected
hours of
motion.
footage. If you
Almost
just
all
want
of
to
them
see if
just featured
somebody
tree branches
came up
blowing
on
in
your
front of the
property.
camera, or normal stuff like that. But eventually, we were shown a clip of some random people we'd never seen before walk up on our property. They were all dressed head to toe in clown costumes, each carrying a baseball bat in their hands. More clips were shown of
Okay.
the clowns walking around.
You think this is the
More times than
purge in
once, you
real
could see as
life?
they cupped their hands against the windows in an attempt to look inside. My cousin and I
Oh
were
wow,
both
they didn't give a
absolutely
fuck.
terrified at this point, and we instantly called the cops. Though we didn't think it'd do much good, as all the clips were about an hour old. When they finally
Wait a minute,
arrived,
so these
they asked us a
random
few
ass people came to
questions
your
and looked
house
around the property,
in
verifying that
full
nobody was still
clown
lurking
makeup
around.
and clown
Of
attire
course, at that point they
with
didn't find anyone,
baseball
and just
bats,
told us they'd patrol the neighborhood for the rest of
and
the
they
night.
did nothing.
We would end up making a
They
report on
even
the clowns for
like was
trespassing,
brave
and
enough
gave the
to
cops
put
as
their
much
hand
information as we could,
on your window and look
including some of the
in your window
footage
like
and
this,
even the Snapchat usernames of the
and
profiles that
they
were on
did
our
nothing.
location. I would of
They
course
didn't
block
break
all
your
the
mailbox
accounts,
or nothing.
but
They
made
just
sure to get a
left.
ton of screenshots before doing so. I still don't know who those people were, or how they were able to get my Snapchat. This whole ordeal has been very stressful and scary for me, my cousin, and the rest of our family. I'm still shaken up by the thought that they could return at any point with worse intentions.
If they didn't do nothing, then they're not coming back.
A couple years
All
ago, when
is
I
he
was
show it
15,
looked like
I was really big into
8
Snapchat.
people.
I was kind of obsessed with building my Snap score, so
Baseball
I would add
bats, and they
random
didn't do
friends and
shit.
accept random requests
They
to
didn't
do
even
so.
try to scare you.
It was pretty weird, I know, but being that young, my Snap score was a number that mattered to me for whatever reason. Now, a lot of my friends from school and I have this group chat. I remember it was a Saturday when one of them mentioned we should go to the mall. A lot of them agreed, and I wanted to as well, but realized I didn't have a ride. So I posted it on my story if anyone was able to pick me up and take me. I was more so expecting someone I knew to respond, like my cousin or something. But I got a Snapchat back from this guy I'd never talked to before. Or at least his Bitmoji was a guy. But either way, I didn't know who it was. It said he was my friend on Snapchat, but we had never had a single conversation or even shared any pictures back and forth before. He texted me something about how he was bored and had nothing better to do. I remember responding to
Shit,
him,
well, you better
asking if
go
he even lived in the
watch
same
TV
state.
or something. Fuck.
It turns out he did, but the town he said he lived
There's
in was
some
at least
random
a 2-hour
person on
drive from me.
Snapchat.
I told him not to worry about it, and I didn't want him to drive 2 hours
Fake.
just to take me to the mall.
Hey, I could
But he
pick
quickly
you up. Like, why
responded
would you
saying,
even
"Why
put
not?"
that on Snapchat?
At this point, the whole conversation felt off to me.
Especially if you
He
get people
insisted.
on it that are your
I
friends
ended
that
up
you
agreeing.
don't even know.
I told him he could come pick me up, but only if he was willing to send me a picture of himself. I was just trying to be cautious. A couple minutes later, he sent me a snap. I opened it, just to see some 30-year-old guy looking back at me.
Oh, what the
guy had
fuck?
on a really dirty hat, smiling at the camera, though like half of his teeth were missing. The caption on the snap said he was on his way.
Oh my.
I sat there for a second thinking it over in my head. How did the guy know where to pick me up? He didn't even ask for my address.
Fucking Snap
That's when my
Mag.
heart dropped, realizing I had my Snap Map on.
Why?
Meaning that anyone I had as a friend on the app could easily find my address. I panicked and quickly responded to the guy apologizing, saying I actually had a closer friend willing to take me. Now,
He
obviously
like,
that
it don't
wasn't
matter,
true,
I'm on the way.
but the fact that this guy was willing to drive 2 hours
I
to
like
pick someone
shit,
up he had never even
and I
met before,
want shit.
just from their location on the Snap Map alone, gave me an off vibe. Plus, the guy looked insanely creepy. Definitely not someone I'd feel comfortable being around. The guy opened the snap a couple minutes later, but never responded.
He like,
As
fuck.
far as I know, he never showed up. Though
He like,
I live in
I
a
was
cul-de-sac,
this close to
and
raping
usually we wouldn't
somebody.
get any cars passing by our house. But I swear, for at least the next few days, there was this same black SUV that would constantly drive by. Whether that was related or not, I don't know. Though, about a month later, I was on Facebook scrolling through my feed. I passed a news story that had one of those attachments, meaning it was sourced on a different website. I almost always scroll past those things, but I couldn't help but stop for this one. There, on my Facebook feed, I could clearly see a picture of that guy from Snapchat. There was no doubt in my mind it was the same
Attempted
guy.
murder.
The headline of the news story read that he was arrested for attempted murder. This whole experience makes me think I dodged a major bullet by trusting my gut and not
He just
accepting
went and
the
murdered
word from
somebody
anyone.
else.
The whole situation shook me up for a while, and nowadays I try to be a lot smarter and only allow people I trust to see me on the Snap Map. I'm a female, and when I was a sophomore in high school, I took a lot of different classes. One of them I don't think I'll ever forget.
Thought that was it.
It was a history class, and the regular teacher for the class had another job on top of teaching. And because of this, we would often get a substitute teacher for the class.
And those letters,
It was always the same
like,
guy.
fuck.
I would say he was at least
It's like they're
in his
playing tricks with my
mid-50s.
eyes.
Nothing ever struck me as odd about him, since if I'm being honest, I rarely even ever paid attention in that class. That was until one day. I was in the middle of working on a project he assigned, but every time I looked up from my paper, he was just staring at me. Every
Fucking
time I would
creep.
look at him, he wouldn't even break eye contact and try to
Just-
play it off either. One
Man,
of
he
the
didn't
times
give
I
a
looked
fuck.
up, I noticed he had his phone
Wait,
pointing
this
in my
said
direction.
this is
I think he was
college?
taking pictures of me.
Oh, they said this was high
And
school.
of
I
course
think
he
it says
freaked
high school.
out, but didn't say anything in case I was wrong.
Well, they showed the
Anyway,
picture,
A few
but
weeks
like a
later,
high school.
somehow, which I still don't know how to this day, the guy found my Snapchat username and
Okay, dude.
I knew it was him too.
He don't
because
give
had
a
his
fuck.
full name on the account. I
He
didn't know
don't
what to
care.
do, but I still regret the decision I made. Knowing he had an influence on my grade, I ended up adding him back.
Oh,
A few minutes later, he sent me a snap saying, "Hey." He had his face in it and everything. At this point, I knew something wasn't right. I took a screenshot
Hey,
of the
I'm
snap
like,
and
hey,
left him on
yourself.
red. He quickly followed up with another snap, this time a black screen with a question mark as the caption. I again left him on red and forgot about the whole
Okay.
situation.
Maybe he's like, are you gonna send me a
For the next
picture?
few weeks, there were multiple occasions where I would check the snap map just to see him not far away. And this would happen anywhere too, not just at school. I would be at the mall with my friends, for example, and see he just so happened to be at the same mall. Or even
Is
sometimes
that
at
something
school,
people do,
when I
just
knew for a
randomly check
fact he
their
didn't
snap
work
map?
that day.
I do it just to make sure that it hasn't
Overall,
turned
for a
itself
solid
back
month,
on.
nothing but those supposed coincidences took place regarding the whole situation.
I guess you have a
But
lot of
course,
friends on there.
A few days later, I
Hey,
would
come
get a
pick me
random
up,
message
and
from
where
him.
you at? Like, check the
I
snap
could tell
map.
it was a chat this time. And
I don't know
regular
the
snap.
address, but I can check the snap
I
map.
opened it, and I was absolutely horrified. He sent around 50 pictures of me in pretty much any situation. Some were of me at school, but others, confirming my suspicion about him following me on the Snap map, were of me not on school campus. Obviously, I left him on red, screenshotted everything, and blocked him. I instantly told my parents, and they notified both the school and the police.
Okay, parents are
It's been
smart.
2 years since the
And they were
situation.
like, "Oh, you just
I'm a
ignore
senior
him."
now, and ever since he sent the pictures, I'd never seen him again. I can only assume he was fired, as we actually got
Oh, I
another
was like, "Is
substitute
he
teacher
staring
who
at
was
you
really
now? Like, what the
nice.
fuck?"
Overall, the whole situation was really disturbing. The fact that I had someone following me around and taking pictures of me just based on my location on the Snap map for a good month of my life absolutely terrifies me. I deleted Snapchat shortly after the whole experience, and like I said, I haven't seen the guy since, so I'm not entirely sure whatever ended up happening to him.
Well, you weren't clearly is MJV animation. You weren't using it very much. Then. You just instantly deleted it. Had to keep checking his camera because the other day I was doing a reaction and it kept cutting off for some reason. Like it'll cut off a minute, almost at the same like a minute and 17 seconds and a minute and 16. Did like a couple times or a few times. And I was like, what the fuck? Luckily, I checked it. And I was like, oh, but before I like either started reacting because I was fucking around making sure other stuff was working, or I started reacting, watching something, and then a minute go by, and I just said, let me stop, just make sure, and the damn video stopped. But yeah, I don't know. I never really understood Snap Map. It just never made. I was like, why? Like you got. I guess it's one of those things where you're like, oh, we have Snapchat. We're successful. You're like, well, let's add something else to it. How about and I guess they brainstormed or whatever. And there's like, how about we add a map so you can see where your friends are at? You know, I guess they're assuming that only people only are friends with people that they know personally. Like they haven't you learned anything from Facebook, the social media apps that came before you. A lot of people are friends with people they don't know. Though they follow people they have never met in their life. They follow even people, not even necessarily famous people. You know, they told this person post funny TikToks or something. You're like, oh, I'll follow them. They're not famous, but you saw their TikTok. Oh, they're funny, and you follow them. Or they post funny Instagram stories, and you follow them. Or this person is on well Facebook. I don't think about Facebook. Like my profile is I guess you say it's private, but only like friends can see it unless you if you become a friend of mine, then you can see my posts and stuff like that. But before that, it was just public. Anybody could just look at it. But I changed it. I think it was 6, 7 years ago, something like that. I just randomly like, oh, I changed this, so people can't just see my post. Like somebody just random person like, oh, I'm befriend this person. I have had random people try to befriend me on, or I guess be a friend me on Facebook, and they always be, I'm a Bitcoin investor, or some shit. I get that a lot on Instagram too. So it's just some random person, or it's supposed to be like an OnlyFans or something like that, or not even OnlyFans, but they pretend they're some chick that stole somebody else's pictures and made a profile and trying to get you to follow it. And then if I've even seen now where they post stuff like uh, they'll follow you, and then you go back and like, oh, is this a real person? And you'll see that account is private, But then at the top, it said the only way that I'll approve the request to follow you, or you follow me, is that if you go follow this other person. And I remember I was like, what the fuck? So I was curious. I clicked on the link to the next profile, and it said that I was like, oh, the only way I'll approve the request for you to follow me is if you go follow this person. It's like, get the fuck out. I was the first. I don't even know who you are. Second, you're not your profile. You can clearly tell this is not the actual person. And plus, you had like a bunch of random pictures of a bunch of different people. I don't know. So so someone taking a bunch of people's pictures and just putting them on a profile and trying to get a bunch of people to follow them. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Shit. Fuck out of here with that. But yeah, Snap I just never made. I was like, who? I guess because I just don't use it, and it's one of those things that just never. I guess it's useful. I guess, um, like I said, if you have friends on there and they're like, "Hey, come pick me up," and like, "Where you at?" And they could be like, "Well, I don't know the exact address, but I'm in between a McDonald's and a Krispy Kreme." And if you know the area, you go like, "Oh, I know where that's at." But if you don't, then you go like, "Okay." Uh, Open your Snap Map or turn on your Snap Map. If it's not already on there, you can see where they're at and you can go where they're at. Or they could just ask somebody, "Hey, what's the address?" So then somebody could pick me up. But yeah, it just weird. Especially it's like I follow because I'm one of them. I do that where I befriend people on apps that I don't personally know, or they follow me or whatever, and I was like, all right, and I see the actual real person, and I'll follow them back. And I've seen people on like it is Snapchat that have sent out a snap that says, "Hey, can someone pick them up or something?" I'm like, "Do you just put this on Snapchat?" And I know you have a bunch of people who follow you that uh that that don't even live in the state you're in. You just I mean, I guess she's posting that she knows her friends, and she's like, "Hey, if somebody can pick me up," and she knows who is her friends on there and gonna come to pick her up. So it's like some random person like, "Hey, I'll come pick you up." Like, I don't know you. She probably wouldn't even respond to him. But I just thought that was like cheating because I got I don't know why I got a notification because what the fuck I get a notification because I turned off uh like notifications and I saw that it was like somebody come pick me up. It's like what the fuck? Like I would never just put a random uh snap and just say, "Can somebody come pick me up?" I mean, I've seen her post things like she want random people to cash app. So, well, like come get me somewhere. Like no. In that case, you might as well just start walking. If you're gonna do that and it just open to anybody, one thing, you should probably just call your friends. Like, hey, can you come pick me up? Or just start walking and you might as well just hitchhike. Cause that's about the same thing. It's like digital hitchhiking. Cause some random person be like, well, I live in that area. Or I'm in that vicinity where you're at. Like look at your snap map. And hey, I come pick you up. Nah, they could not be a creep. Actually, it could be them trying to be social, pick you up and be perfectly fine, you know. But it could turn, it could be a very bad situation. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my reaction. If you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up button down below. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here. Hit that bell if you want to be notified when I upload new videos. What the fuck? New videos. When I upload new videos, comment down below. Share this video. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.